Welcome to episode 159 of The Endless Stream. I'm Aidan, and this week I am joined by Kevin. We are two artists, illustrators, filmmakers, and all-around shit talkers. And each week we take some of the endless stream of content brought to you through YouTube, Hulu, Spotify, Disney+, Netflix, Amazon Prime. Wherever you get your content, we take a chunk of it, we watch it, and we talk about it. This week we're talking about a trip I recently took to London. We're talking about the cat sitting on my lap. We're talking about the bike riders. We're talking about the new trailer for Hellboy, and we're talking about all the nerd news we can pull out of the air at the same time. If you like what you hear, please consider subscribing to the podcast, heading over to iTunes, heading over to Spotify, rating, reviewing, liking, subscribing. All of these good things really help us out. On top of that, you can pop over to Instagram at The Endless Cast, where we put up art and clips to go with each episode. And that's a great place to send us a message. Disagree with our opinions, suggest something for us to watch, you can do that over there. Or you can send us an email at theendlesscast@gmail.com. All of that being said, let's get into the episode. How to empty a heating system without a drain cock? That's what I was looking for!
Oh, you gotta remove the drain cock, bro.
I mean, if you don't have a drain cock, what do? I've got a real old system.
Well, what, you're nearly 40.
I know, yeah. The drain cock isn't what it used to be.
It's not what it used to be.
Not what it used to be.
What are you drinking this morning?
I started my morning with a...
Is that wine? In a
double
tall
espresso,
glass?
maybe a quadruple espresso.
Ugh.
Then I had a lem sip.
Oh.
A lot of honey. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Very good, very nice. Where is the audio being picked up on this microphone? I'm not seeing a lot of pickup on the old waveform over here. Is that better? It's a little better.
You sound good to me. I don't know. You always sound good to me.
Ooh,
salty.
Podcast. I'm currently drinking cranberry juice.
Oh, okay. Is cranberry juice for incontinence?
It's the same thing that everybody always says when you tell people you drink cranberry juice. Everyone goes, "Is that for your urinary tract infection, bro?"
I thought prune juice was that.
I like a bitter drink.
Oh, you like a bitter drink? You're a bitter fella.
A bitter drink. I like a bitter drink.
A bitter fellow.
Betty bought a bit of butter, but the
butter
Betty bought was bitter.
So Betty bought another bit of
butter.
Oh, better. Betty. I always thought it was... did I say Betty before? I don't know if I said that name. Betty bought a bit of butter, but the butter Betty bought was bitter. So Betty bought another bit of butter to make the bit of butter better.
I would say better bit of butter as opposed to another bit of butter.
A better bit of butter. Oh, Betty bought a bit of butter, but the butter Betty bought was bitter. So Betty bought a bit of butter. What did you say?
Betty bought a better bit of butter.
A better bit of butter.
Betty bought a better bit of butter.
To make the bit of butter better.
Betty bought a better bit of butter. Do I cut all of this?
No, it's gold.
All right.
Do you remember I'm not the pheasant plucker?
I'm the pheasant plucker's...
Son,
yeah.
Yeah. I'm only plucking pheasants till the pheasant plucker comes. Say that fast, Aiden.
I'm not the pheasant plucker, I'm the pheasant plucker's son. I'm only plucking pheasants till the pheasant plucker comes.
I'm not the pheasant plucker, the pheasant plucker's son. I'm only plucking pheasants till the pheasant plucker comes.
And yet we get Donald Sunderland and Kirk Berserk.
Yeah, that's the limerick in me. I can talk fast. Even my father used to say to me, "Hold, slow down. Where are you going?" I'd be like, "Nowhere." And he's like, "Then why are you talking so fast?" I'm like, right. Yeah, I had a terrible speech impediment growing up.
Did you?
I had a speech impediment growing up, and I went to speech therapy maybe at the age of like 4 and 5 and stuff.
But was the impediment speed?
No, I don't know, but I think I genuinely spoke fast to kind of, mask anything like that. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people do that. That can be a little bit like tongue-tied or like, not tongue-tied because I don't think I wasn't tongue-tied, but I was just prone to hearing infections. Same as Lou Ferrigno. The way Lou Ferrigno sounds was the way I would sound if I didn't have speech therapy and all that jazz. Well, not the way I would sound. His parents didn't do anything with it. Do you know what I mean?
He's deaf, isn't he?
He's not. No.
Oh.
No, he was just prone to hearing aches and ear infections and all that kind of stuff growing up, and I believe I was too.
And so you weren't hearing right to emulate.
Yeah. So
your speech gets a little weird.
Yeah, like T's and R's and all that kind of stuff. Like it'd be like
right
things like that. I believe I can't remember now.
Lou Ferrigno.
Lou or Ferrigno. But yeah.
How was your week? We are booked in for Deadpool and Wolverine. Deadpool versus Wolverine.
I'm so excited.
And Wolverine.
Yes.
I can't wait now.
Yes.
I went from being like, I don't know what this is going to be, to be like, actually, this is going to be so much fun.
It's going to be fun, bro.
That's the weekend of my birthday.
Yay!
I've got Marika coming over, and she's coming over in the afternoon.
Okay.
And you and I are going to the movie in the morning.
Yes.
And then there's a comedy show that night, and might do dinner or something. But like, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Yes. And
are you done looking at Deadpool trailers?
yes, I don't look at any. I've seen a few posters, and
I don't know why they keep showing clips and things. Just like
it's like the hype is there. Like people who are going to see it are already well and truly convinced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like, I'm kind of like cool with the idea that like I don't know what to expect really.
Yeah, me too.
I haven't seen much other than like them fucking around, you know?
Like, I don't know anything about it except for, that first trailer in terms of like, we know Wolverine is from a timeline. It could be like Days of Future Past. Well, no, it's not Days of Future Past, but it has vibes like that, where lone survivor, mutants are dead. And Cassandra Nova is in it. That's essentially all I know.
I had forgotten about that, yeah. I'd forgotten about Cassandra Nova, because I was kind of sitting here going, I don't even know who the villain is. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's all I know, bro.
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's going to be a blast. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah, very looking forward to it. Oh, apparently there's two post credit scenes.
Right.
They've been leaked, so just be careful.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
I know. Speaking of leaks.
Speaking of leaks.
This isn't a segue to plumbing.
Right.
We saw.
I love plumbing.
You love plumbing. It's your calling.
I'm all about plumbing.
I have a friend who is apprentice plumber at the moment. He's just turned 30, and he's had a career change.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
And he's become an apprentice plumber.
Yep.
What did he career change from?
I think he was working a few like industrial jobs, potentially the odd factory, but I'm not too sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Big change.
Yeah,
but
I don't think I'll ever fully career change, but I'm just like, I don't know. I'm DIY enough that I'm like, I think I can fucking
absolutely
do some plumbing work.
Sure, you fixed my one there the last time when you were, around.
There's some of the stuff that I've encountered in your gaff where you're just like, oh, you fixed that, because there's been a couple of things. I don't think it's necessary that I fixed that, other than I have the fucking audacity to
attempt it,
to diagnose and fuck around it.
Yeah,
like there is a degree of people are very cautious of DIY things, that they're afraid they'll fuck it up. And like I've had this with like computers and shit my entire life, where people are like, this fucking kid outside just started playing basketball, and he's just gonna bang that fucking ball off the ground for the next hour. Anyway,
go kid. I used to play basketball up by myself. So.
I generally don't mind, except that like he hasn't been here for the last hour, and in the last hour we didn't record the podcast. But the moment we start recording, you're just gonna hear thump.
I can't hear anything at the moment. So
okay, well maybe it's just gonna be picked up on my side. Maybe it won't be picked up at all. I'll just keep my body between you and it. Anyway, people are often just afraid or cautious or too cautious. I mean, there's people with computers as well. It's like, if I hit X, what happens? It's like the window closes, you just open it again. Come on, let's keep going.
Yeah.
Or what if I hit send? Well, you'll send an email, but it's not the end of the world. Let's see what's going on. Like, I don't know what I was getting at there. You spoke of a leak.
Yes, I was going to refer to the James Gunn leaks of Guy Gardner, Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, Superman.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I saw like a squirrel in a box, and people think it's Chip, the Green Lantern squirrel.
Say that again?
There's a picture of Superman with a little squirrel in a box, and they think it might be Chip, who is the Green Lantern that's the squirrel.
Oh, wow, okay.
Which is kind of in line with a James Gunn type of thing. Like, it's funny watching people going, this looks shit, this looks shit, this looks shit, and it's like, hold on, have you seen... Why are people writing off James Gunn ever at this point.
I don't
Like,
get it. Well, dude, I literally saw a bunch of like stuff like you
every
know,
superhero thing he's done has been great.
but I saw a thing and it was just like people were saying like kind of the last time we saw Superman, apart from Black Adam, he was about to face off to like Darkseid or one of those people, and he said like. And he's like, I know, you know, kind of like, and James Gunn has removed years of progress, has destroyed this character, and reduced him to saving like cats and dogs, you know, and blah blah. And it was just kind of like, have you ever read Superman? Like,
Yeah, you fucking edgelord fucks that want just death metal vibes going on the whole
Yeah.
time. Like what I love about DC is the mythic kind of like iconography and the lightness to your Wonder Womans and your Batmans and your Supermans, you know,
Yeah.
and like your goofy comic bookness of it. Like I actually had a similar but opposite thought the other day where I was just like I watched a video of Superman. Actually, I watched some of the TV show, but I also saw a clip in comic books where he like flies through a sun to power up, but then he flies through a series of suns to get stronger and stronger and stronger. And I'm just like, do you remember when he was just like kind of strong enough to, you know, get a car off a bridge
But as I
before a
say,
train
like,
hit it? Like,
that's like kind
that
of
was a Superman,
yeah,
not God Man.
yeah,
you know,
yeah, not the sun, you know, but it's just like kind of like. It's like, yeah, like people saying like, oh, he harnesses the power of the sun or whatever. Do people say that about Superman? I can't remember. But it's just kind of like, it's like you know, I like the adventures of Superman and Lois Lane. I like that Superman. You know, like he can probably like he can stop a speeding bullet and all that kind of stuff. You know, he'll stop a train and everything. But like, there's a cap to it. You know, he's not like, you know. But look, that's comic books, isn't it? They go too far all the time.
Yeah. No, the idea that he's like a Superman, he's strong.
Yeah.
He's not like,
Yeah.
I don't know, the idea that the limits get pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed to the point where it's like, this is nonsense. And it was always nonsense, but it's just like there being a sense of boundaries or a sense of like a power scale kind of made this like, I remember there was one comic I read years ago that was just like, I don't even know if it was an alternate dimension or something, and it was almost like Superman was dealing with an older version of himself, you know,
Yeah.
like it was like a spirit or he was like, what the fuck is going on? And there was this like entity that was like, it wasn't quite a conscious person, but it was this sort of like echo of what Superman might have been in another dimension. But it was like literally a guy just like came through a door just as a woman was about to be beaten by her husband. It was the version of Superman that was just like this almost small scale local thing, you know? Like, it's not a cosmic entity. It's my cat's in a tree, someone's robbing a bank, the bridge is out, you know, like we have to stop the train. It's not
Yeah, I know. It's funny though because like, you know, you talk about like all comics and all that kind of stuff to a degree. They're all guilty of this. You know what I mean? Like this story, the characters being like overpowered and like too convoluted, and there's, you know, like sometimes it's like every story is just trying to do something bigger and bigger and bigger and crazy and crazy and crazier. And it's just kind of like, you know, just I like, you know, not that I like a slice of life superhero book, but sometimes it's just nice to kind of have a smaller scale story, I guess, you know?
Yeah.
Speaking smaller scale stories.
Well, it just reminded me of like I haven't drawn a lot of comic book pages in my lifetime, but I drew like a little 4-page comic that Bavian wrote years ago when we were just like, I don't know, collaborating a little bit. But she wrote this like story of like Lois and Clark going to a costume shop because the work was having a Halloween party.
Yeah, great.
And the place gets robbed, and it was just a fun little story of like them trying on different costumes, you know. And as the place gets robbed, he doesn't want to like blow his cover. And the guy robbing the place trips up in the cape he's wearing. And they just hold him down. It's like it's a real small thing, and it just ends up with him, you know, going to the Halloween party dressed as Batman in like an almost Adam West costume. It's just a fun little goofy thing, but like we did that, and maybe it's been done a bunch of times, but I remember that like there was a Snyder Batman. Is it Snyder? or is it the other guy, Tom
King or
King,
Scott?
where
Is it?
where Bruce, Clark, Lois, and Selena go to a theme park together, but it's like costume night, and they don't have costumes, so they all just sort of like swap each other's costumes.
No way. Yeah.
And like, Batman's in the Superman costume, and Superman's in the Batman costume, and Lois is in the. But it's just them at a fairground, and they're like hitting baseballs at batting cages, and
Yeah. That's hilarious.
it's just cute. It's a nice little story.
Yeah.
So basically, I like the look of these James Gunn
Me too.
images.
Me too. Yeah.
I think I guess you have to embrace the kitschiness or cheesiness or the stuff that Gunn does with his characters and stuff. Guy Gardner's hair.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing I would say is that Guy Gardner's hair is a bit weird. But they all look like they're in team suits as well. So there's some sort of Justice League thing going on. Yeah. But Guy Gardner's hair, yeah, but like kind of like at the same time though, like like James Gunn can sell these things.
Yeah. I'm curious how much is going to get held on to. Because before he had reign of DC, before he was in charge of it, he was trying to fold stuff into the DCEU as it was.
Yes.
So you would have Peacemaker, and then you'd have Momoa's Aquaman show up, or is it at the end of The Flash? There's the sting where they're bringing someone to the underwater prison that Waller runs, but it's I can't remember the name of the lady in Peacemaker that Cena's character's hitting on the whole time, the blonde.
It's James Gunn's
wife.
The
character's name is like.
Apparently, though, they're going to have a new dance intro for the next season, which is fun.
Well, that's Peacemaker, yeah. But I guess what I'm wondering is like how much of what we saw in the Peacemaker DCEU is going to carry over. Like
Emilia.
Emilia. But what was the character's name?
Emilia's character's name, Emilia Harcourt. The actual person is Jennifer Holland.
Harcourt, though. That's Harcourt, I kept hearing that as hardcore, and in my head I was going, Killgrave, Murderhead, hard. I knew there was something that like made her sound like a badass.
Yeah.
Look, I'm actually surprised that it's a Superman movie with that many other superheroes in it already. You know what I mean? That we're seeing Mr. Terrific, and we're seeing Hawkgirl, and we're seeing.
Do you think it's kind of a case of, because I said before that I thought he was going to do much smaller kind of like I kind of thought he was going to do like the whole like farm boy type of stuff, a bit more of that, or lean into that aspect of it. But I think maybe this might be a story of a new or a young Superman in Metropolis, and then obviously these are more established superheroes. They have a team.
That's interesting. So the idea that like he's just showing up and he's almost stepping on toes, so he's just doing little things in the neighborhood.
Yeah. Potentially.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then he gets brought into some Justice League big bad stuff.
Yeah, they're calling it were they calling it the JSI?
JSI, is it? Okay.
What's JSI though? Have you read that book?
No.
It seems to be, people are pointing out that the logo on the uniforms are Lord Tech, which is Maxwell Lord.
Oh yeah. Do
you remember him?
Of course. Well, yeah, we went to that thing years ago, didn't we? That reading.
Remind me.
You and me went to a script reading of oh my god, what's the director's name? I think he did Mad Max and stuff, and he was
George Miller's Justice League.
Yes, and it was the one where Maxwell, or Max, what did you say his name was?
Max Lord.
Max Lord was like the villain or something like that.
Right.
There was a script reading. There was a bunch of people on stage reading the script, and I believe he was the villain. But he was in Wonder Woman 2, right? Pedro Pascal played him.
Oh my god.
Is that right?
Was that Max Lord?
1985.
Oh, he was. Okay, so that's fascinating then. Okay, Lord Tech exists in James Gunn's world. But he's being played... Okay, hold on, I can see it here. Well, according to the internet, Sean Gunn is playing him.
Oh yeah, I think I read that.
In the new Superman. Okay, so I was going to say for a moment there, like, is he folding him into is he folding, like, would you not fold Pedro Pascal in? It's like, nope, okay, like, that's a clear delineation between the previous universes.
You know why people are so attached, obviously, to Henry Cavill's Superman and, you know, the whole Snyderverse and all that kind of stuff. Like, look, don't get me wrong, like, kind of, when I initially saw Man of Steel, like, kind of, I didn't hate it. There's aspects of it kind of, I liked a lot of it till probably maybe the final act or something, but there's aspects of it I really liked. But it's just like, there wasn't, like, I don't think Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, or any of these people, maybe with the exception of Wonder Woman, but I don't think any of these, Gal Gadot? I don't think any of these people really kind of like, I don't think they fleshed out the characters. I don't think you saw a whole lot of character development. I don't think you saw, like, they were all very flat and one-dimensional. It was a visual. It was all visually kind of.
It's music videos.
Yeah, like, kind of, I don't think we saw any. Like, that's why I don't understand why people are so attached to Henry Cavill, other than the fact of, like, they like him aesthetically.
Yeah, no, he didn't get, but, like, he didn't get to be Clark. He didn't get to be Superman.
No.
There's kind of a moment in, like, the Whedon Justice League that people seem to hate. For some reason, Snyder's Justice League is held in higher regard, but it's like, they're both fucking dog shit as far as I'm concerned.
No, they're all rubbish.
The fact that people are, like, a fan of that 4-hour fucking thing, it's like, I don't know, that's fucking 4 hours of Stockholm Syndrome, if you ask me.
Yeah, I made Emer watch that. Oh, I didn't Emer volunteered to watch it with me, but God bless her, that was hard.
I put that in the living room where my father was, and he's dead now.
Yeah, I remember that.
We can connect those two dots, right?
Yes, absolutely. And the fact that, like, none of those people are at your father's funeral makes them look pretty guilty too. You know what I mean?
I think bad filmmaking.
That's what did it. That's what did it. Yeah, an overexposure to bad filmmaking over an extended period of time.
Look, it's bullshit. I tell you what, I did see a sketch of Superman earlier. I'll forward it to you. Where somebody drew Superman with, rather than big red trunks, a big red belt.
Okay. And
the big red belt kind of broke up the blue like the trunks did. Had a very sci-fi 50s-y vibe. And also had a sort of like weightlifter belt thing, which made me think strongman as well. And it's like, I hadn't thought of that as an alternative to the trunks. And it actually...
I think that looks great.
I think it looks pretty cool.
I think that looks great.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, like the belt, I like the, as you said, it is a bit of a weightlifter because it's like a much bigger, broader belt. I wouldn't be angry if it was just like a skinnier belt, but that looks really, really good.
Yeah, I think that actually kind of like, when the argument is the trunks are goofy, why is he wearing his underwear on the outside? Well, like, yes, you can point to the circus strongmen, like, singlet things, but also a weightlifter belt actually kind of looks cool. It kind of works.
I did an 80s version of Wolverine. I don't know if you remember. And I gave him weightlifter belt.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I've actually got a sketch of that because you drew it and then I tried to, like, redraw it.
Yeah, well, you could draw it better than me.
No, it's not a draw better than you. I just was like, I want to draw your version of it. I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah. I would love to see that sometime.
Yeah, I've got it. I've been doing a bunch of drawing.
Great.
Not posting anything.
I'm
firmly in my my art is irrelevant. It is a weird tick that I do for no reason and no benefit kind of phase.
Yeah.
It is like.
But you know what?
It's like a nervous itch. Like I keep doing it even though it's just hurting me. I should be studying plumbing and
that's
a
a
proper
terrible
job.
No, like look, at the end of the day, like you should only like as in like first and foremost, you should be creating art for yourself, and then if people like that, that's a bonus or whatever. But also not posting online, won't yield anything, But again, it's not about posting online. It's just about kind of progression and development and all that jazz. But I can't remember. I must dig up that Wolverine sketch. It was Wolverine I did, wasn't it?
Twas, yeah.
Yeah.
Twas.
Yeah.
I also found a Tank Girl sketch I was doing. I was trying to tidy up my Procreate stuff because I never stocked anything.
Dude, I need to do that. Don't even talk to me.
I just have hundreds of individual fucking files. And I put all of the endless stream art into one stack and it's like, 180. And I was like, okay, cool.
Awesome. Well done.
Yeah.
That's what John's of me. I love it.
Yeah, fair amount to use.
Yeah.
I got a Tank Girl drawing I did here for some fucking reason. Never quite finished it. I started drawing, I've got like all of those Batmobile
Oh
models.
yes, yeah.
I started taking some like shots of those at weird angles and like drawing them up, and I've got them kind of like as blue line or red lines, and I'm gonna print them and illustrate them. Now, whether or not they become Inktobers or whether or not they become like I do a one a week or something. I always have this idea of like, I don't know, recording the process and putting the videos. And
I know. That's the aspect of my job that I'm not good at.
The minute you make the whole content element of it part of it. Also trying to write comedy and shoot sketches and find a job and
go to the gym.
Learn
how to plumb.
I don't know why plumbing is becoming such a part of it, because this house needs replumbing. And you know what, guys? Do you know what? It's just pipes.
It's just pipes.
It's just pipes. And at this point, they click together.
Yeah.
You don't even need to solder.
Yeah.
They just like, and all you need to do is just like a little U bracket to like screw them to wood joists. It's just pipes. It's just ordered thinking. And that is said while completely dismissing all of the subtleties and skills that tradesmen learn over multiple years.
The experience.
It's me being a complete nutter dick. Yeah. It's me being a dick.
Yeah. Anything remotely trades-ish, DIY, adjacent or anything, terrifying.
Really?
Terrifying.
Yeah, I don't think it should. I just think there's a balancing act of like demystifying it as well.
But it's also you need the strength in your hands. I don't have that anymore. Oh God, no.
Is it the RSI?
Yes, I would say years of just holding a tattoo machine too tight as a tattoo.
Yeah.
I can build it up, right?
I just like I talked to a plumber about hooking in a fucking washing machine into the kitchen, and they're just like, "Oh Jesus, that's a big job. We'd have to do this and we'd have to do that." And I was like, I don't know why this is a big job. And I went and looked at all of the fucking research of it, and I'm just like, I think this is a €20 part from Screwfix.
Well, you know, like all these
and a tube.
All these tradespeople, they're like, it's like when your dog does, when your dog stretches, you have to say, "Oh, big stretch," and these guys had to say, "Oh, big job." They walk in the house, "Oh, big job."
It's a 3-meter tube and a €20 double appliance joint under the sink.
That's a lot of tubing.
3 meters.
It's more tube than I'm comfortable with. Yeah.
That's the plumbing talk. I went to London.
How was London, aka London?
It was good. Let's see. A wholesome thing I saw, or a wholesome thing. I sat in a pub and I read a Terry Pratchett book while England watched football, and I was just like an Irish person in the middle of a football match going, I'm not really into this, but I enjoy a little fantasy book.
But you're reading a British author.
Oh no. Shit.
Terry Pratchett's British.
I will say this, like, I am not a football fan. England was playing Slovakia. I don't like football.
I don't know anything
about
about
bores
sports.
me.
Yeah.
But Marika likes the Euros and likes a bit of football.
I like the fun of it. Yeah.
I can drink a pint and read a book.
Yep.
And it was a nice sunny day, and I think part of why I don't like sport as well is like when I settle into like a 90-minute game, I don't think I've ever been brought to or made watch a match where it isn't the one version of it that goes into extra time and then goes into like additional half an hour of play and then fucking penalties, and I get the longest possible version of stalemate for an afternoon. I will say this though, that being said, after 90 minutes of Slovakia having scored 1 goal and England scoring nothing, and 5-6 minutes of additional time, when in the 95th minute and 30 seconds a corner kick happened, or a kick from the corner, and an English player did a over his head fucking bicycle kick, like fucking backflip kick, and
awesome.
Hit the ball and scored a goal off it to equalise. That was fucking impressive.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, bro. Like,
That was impressive.
so, like, kind of like, I can understand people like liking sports and following sports and all that kind of stuff. Look, I'm not into it, so I don't know. But like, there's loads of moments though in games that I can see why people watch this, why people are into it. But I just don't have the commitment to watch 90 minutes of the rest of it.
Yeah. I mean, show me a highlight video or something. But like the bar went fucking insane. The
Yeah,
bar went
yeah.
nuts.
And that's a good fun, you know.
It was fun. Like, it was wholesome, as I said. Like, it's very sweet, but also like kind of intimidating. And I will say on that as well, I guess I'm not going to bars for sport.
Yeah.
I don't know if this happens in Ireland. You tell me. Before the match started, the wait staff and bar managers came around again. We're going to have to switch you to plastic glasses.
Oh, okay.
Because they did not trust that nobody would fuck a glass at somebody else in the middle of this fucking...
I've never experienced
on a Sunday
that.
afternoon at 2 o'clock. Huh?
I've never experienced that.
That being said, when the room went nuts, I was a little like, oh, I can kind of see.
Oh yeah.
I can kind of see why they might have wanted to take these glasses away. I also like, I think I had like, you know, a little bit of fucking drink left in my glass, and she was like, I'll have to swap you to plastic in a few minutes. I was just like, oh, okay. And she never took my glass, and I think it's because
you were reading the book.
I was wearing a nerd shirt reading Terry Pratchett.
Yeah. She's like, he's fine. He doesn't get out of that.
He's fine. He's not the guy.
He's not the guy. It's not fine.
I was just eating bacon fries, drinking a Coca-Cola, going, you know, my daddy brought me here.
Yeah.
I'm to sit quietly in the corner. That's Irish tradition.
I have to nurse this one drink, but he'll have 4. Yeah.
My cat just jumped up on my lap, so just adjusting.
Which cat is that?
This is Bo.
Bo. Oh, hey, Bo is gorgeous. I never see your cats enough. Oh, look at Bo. He's beautiful. And will he sit there contently now for a couple of hours, or?
He'll sit here for a little bit. He wants a lot of attention, and he'll like paw at my legs, but that means they're very scratchy. I'm waking up with 4 fucking cats on me in the morning these days.
1 second in. What's that? Emer wants to see the cat.
Oh.
It's Bo.
Oh my god, he's so beautiful.
If you want to just hear a little bit. He's gorgeous, isn't
Can
he?
you hear him purring?
Cute.
I don't know if we can hear him purring.
He's clawing at my legs now.
Oh, he's gorgeous.
Oh my god, he's beautiful.
And would he be the friendliest to you, Ado, or what?
Yeah, I think he would be. He'd be the one that would follow me around, and like he'll meow at me to want to go and sit at the stairs and pet him, because he's got, you know, that's a little safe space where he can get pets. Bruno always wants attention, but he's so old as well. He kind of waits for you to come to him.
Fair.
How old is this cat?
This cat is probably 4 or 5 years old.
Oh, still young then.
Yeah, reasonably. Like Bruno is 17.
Oh wow.
And he's looking really ropey in the last couple of months as well.
Wow.
It's like he just like looks at you like, and he just when I go to bed now, he just sees me lie down and comes straight into my armpit and then just sits there for 8 hours.
No
He's
way.
just there the whole night.
That's amazing.
And he just wants constant like, come here to me, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute. 17's a great age.
Now that we have Emer on the podcast, Aidan was telling me about a story experience
Do you want me to repeat it?
And in London, no, not the other one. This is about they were going to sports. They were in a bar and they were going to watch sports. Emer has watched more sports than you and I combined.
Right.
Okay.
And has lived in London. Before the game kicked off, they took everybody's glasses away from them and replaced them with plastic cups. Have you ever experienced that before? Is that normal?
I've never experienced that.
I've never experienced that before. No.
Okay, that's interesting. So that's weird.
That is weird.
Like, but also the one goal that was scored, like when England won, like the room went so nuts. I was sort of like, oh, I understand. Okay.
I mean, they are English.
Oh, you could.
Leaving it in. London was fun. We didn't do much. I say we didn't do much. I mean, we've done weekends where we've gone and seen like shows and comedy shows and restaurants and all this, that and the other, and jazz, all that jazz. But like that day I was going over, I went and I got up real early and recorded a podcast with you. I went into the city centre, then I went to the Dáil, the Parliament there, to see a reading of a amendment to one of the arts bills that would include comedy as a fundable art.
Yes, which is great.
And then I had to get to the airport, and then there was a delay in my flight, and then there was another delay in my flight, so I got to London like way late, so I was just fucking tired. Then I woke up the next morning and we went to the gym.
Phew.
And we then went and did like a pub crawl. We kind of wanted to see a movie. We went to Clapham, and I can talk about a movie. But we went and like we did a little like pub crawl. Inadvertently, we got a drink and then walked a little bit further and got a drink and then walked a bit further. Then saw the movie and then came out and a few drinks. And by the time we got home, it was 2 a.m. So like by Sunday or by Saturday, that was Saturday, I was fucking exhausted. I was so tired. And Marika had an improv class to go to, so we had to get up reasonably early, walk around the city, kind of hanging because we didn't really have food going to Clapham.
Fair. Bless you.
And there's a point where we were going to a thing later that evening, and it was Pride in London
awesome.
as well, so the streets were jammed. And there was a point where we just walked into a park, lay down on the ground, and went to sleep for an hour, which was kind of like slightly vulnerable, slightly uncomfortable, but also just like, this is nice. This is nice.
Yeah.
Woke up, got some dinner, went for more drinks, got home. The public transport in London, I heard somebody describe London as like a city that pretends it never sleeps, because at a certain point the public transport becomes fucking irritating. Like it's not like there's 24-hour public transport. Like you kind of think it just fucking stops in a way that you're like, oh shit, I can't get my train out to Purley again. You know, and like we got on a bus to get to a train station, and the bus got caught in traffic, so we were going to miss our train, and so we got off, and we looked at the thing and it was like, oh, there's another hour before the next possible train, and it's 1 a.m, which means I got to wait till 2 a.m, and then a 40-minute train, and then a walk back.
40-minute train, wow! So it's not like even if you can get a taxi.
And then we looked into like an Uber, and it was like, well, that's going to be a solid hour's driving again. You know, it's just there's a lot of good to that city, but just like getting around it is fucking exhausting at a certain point.
Look, to be honest, bro, like, you know, we're no places to judge anybody's public transport. It's shocking in this city.
I think it's just that the scale is better, though. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, fair.
Like, if I'm in London and I've got to wherever fucking gig or show or whatever the fuck I was going to, you know, I now have to think about travelling the breadth of the country if it was Ireland. Do you know what I mean? Like, in terms of like 4 hours or 3 hours to get to, like, it's going to be 2.5 hours. It's like I could drive to Galway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas in Ireland, like, even if you get in a taxi from the city centre out to Dunleary, it's 25 minutes at that hour of the night, maybe, and 25 quid, you know? It's not 80. I don't know. That's my little rant. Went to see The Bike Riders with Austin Butler, Jodie Comer, Tom Hardy, and Jeff Nichols is the director.
I haven't become enamored by this Austin Butler yet. I've not seen him in anything that kind of has been like, you know what, I like that person. Cat's clawing my legs. This won't be the movie that does that for you. Okay.
This won't be the movie. I will say I have become enamored with him.
Fair. Was he an unknown before Elvis?
He was Disney kid.
Oh, was he? Okay, I don't know anything about him.
He's there. He's brought a following with him.
Mm-hmm.
He's just maturing up.
Fair. Does he still talk like Elvis?
He was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, I know that movie.
He's good in that.
I like that movie.
I think the thing that I give him at this point is I haven't quite seen the film where I'm just like, I really like you top to bottom through this film. You've really sold me. His Elvis was good.
Too much of a fever dream for me, but that's the director as opposed to
his Elvis was fine, but the script and the director made him very two-dimensionally drawn. He's just this sort of like presence rather than a character.
Yeah.
But like he nailed the voice.
Too much apparently.
And when you see him in Dune, then the fact that he's doing a Stellan Skarsgård impression is like, you didn't need to do that, but that's great. And now 2 roles in a row where he like does a lot of vocal work, I'm like, okay, I kind of like, you've kind of established a pattern for yourself as like an actor that does the work, plays the character, and makes a change into a voice and all. And I'm kind of like, cool. I want to see you keep doing this. I now want to see you keep being the guy that like delivers. He did not have to do a Stellan Skarsgård impression for that character, but he does a great fucking job with it.
Fair.
And Bike Riders.
What's it about?
The Bike Riders is about kind of the rise of the Vandals as a motorcycle club / gang. Marika was not enamored with it. She kind of expected a sort of Sons of Anarchy, very, I don't know, action adventure-y kind of like narrative, I assume, maybe.
Okay.
But instead, it's a little more Goodfellas-y, a little more like, this is the gentle rise of an organization.
Interesting.
From something small and manageable to something that kind of gets out of hand.
Formidable and dangerous.
And like, I think there's some interesting imagery and symbology, I guess, going on in it.
Symbology.
I don't know if that's the word.
Symbolism?
But like, symbolism.
I like symbolism more.
I think there's this thing where like, right, it's a pretty straight line narrative of like a thing starting off small as a bunch of friends and becoming completely unwieldy by the time there's multiple chapters in multiple states, and it's no longer a dozen guys that want to get together and party. It's every former Vietnam veteran who's on heroin, who doesn't want to get a job, and it becomes really, really criminal, scumbag, treacherous environment where everybody's looking to fucking step on each other's neck. Like, it gets way out of hand. There's a scene in it where like one of the original guys is standing around a dumpster barrel fire.
Yeah.
And he's just going, yeah, like, I'm gonna have to hand in my colors, you know, like, I'm not making enough money doing this, and I'm not making enough money that, but I've enrolled in, like, I'm going to be a highway cop, a motorcycle cop on the highway. So it's like, cool. And he thinks he's just talking to like mates in his motorcycle club. He doesn't realize he's talking to criminals in a gang who view the handing in of the colors as a
betrayal,
wild crime and betrayal. Like, this guy is one of the original people who's just like, you know, this is what this organization is. He doesn't realize that for the wider group, it's become something else. And like, he thinks he's just talking to some mates in a club with him, and they turn around and beat the shit out of him because he's a traitor cop now, you know.
Jesus.
Austin Butler's character isn't doing much. He's very two-dimensionally drawn again, and I think that there's something to that in this character being this like representation of like the American dream of freedom on a motorcycle. You can't be caged, you can't be dogged, you can't be like, he's Tom Hardy's character views him as like, even though Tom Hardy's character is the boss, he sees this guy Benny as like, you're the real deal. I'm a truck driver that started a club, but you're a biker. You're the guy, you've lived this from top to bottom. You just want to be free on the road. You're the spirit of America, you know? So I think to some degree, the two-dimensionality of his character kind of works, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, we could have had a bit more of him. I think there's a shot in it as well where he is... You can like, they kind of allude to the idea that Tom Hardy got the character from watching that Marlon Brando movie where he's a biker. So it's like, he's a family man playing motorcycle cosplay is kind of the funny thing.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that like the moment there's a sort of changeover, and where he's appealing to Benny, Austin Butler's character, to like take a more active role in the admin of the group, and the guy's like, You're not going to get me involved. I'm free. I won't be caged. I won't be told what to do, and I won't tell anyone what to do. The moment you see it kind of become completely out of Tom Hardy's control, you see Tom Hardy in a car for the first time.
Okay.
And for the rest of the movie, those old guys are in cars, and the new people are in bikes, and it's like, right, so they've lost it. They've lost the connection to what it was. I've talked too long about the bike riders. I've gone on.
Did you enjoy it?
I did enjoy it. I think there's beautiful cinematography. I think there's good moments. I don't think it's amazing, but like, I think it's a sort of 6-7.
Oh, well, that's a pretty decent score.
But I was also like, I'm so tired and it's so late and we've come to this movie, and like, she didn't enjoy it, and I was like, it's good, I kind of enjoyed it. And then the next day I found out that like it made so little money, they're like releasing it on streaming in 8 days.
Oh, no way.
I'm like, oh fuck me. Like,
God, wow.
Yeah.
Where's it
I
gonna
would
be?
have gone to see Bad Boys, you know.
Yeah. Where's it gonna be released at?
I'm not sure. I like, the minute you tell me it's released on streaming, I'm just like, no, you just torrent it at that point, right?
Yeah.
So look, that's my little bike riders riff. This fucking cat. I wish I could show you what he's doing, but if I use my other hand to move the camera, he's not doing it anymore.
Yeah. I can see his paw. He's so cute. What a little baby. Oh, so cute.
So that's I don't know, that's my London. There's some horror in there. There's some wholesome. There's a movie. I don't know if I leave the horror in.
But well, you know, maybe take it out. It's up to yourself.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if it was some sort of weird performance art piece, you could be like, oh, yeah, well, you know, it's performance art, but it's I don't know if I watched any movies really this week. Emer.
We talked about watching Clute, but we didn't watch.
We didn't watch Clute.
No, I think we should.
We should. It has a good rating and stuff like that. Like, I did.
Yeah,
look into it.
It's a classic. It's up there with like The Conversation and stuff.
Yeah, no, and I kind of, you know, I do like Donald Sunderland, so yeah. But I don't know if
still saying Sunderland.
What is his name?
Suther, Suther.
And what am I saying?
Sunder, Sunder, like Killian Sunderman.
Who's that?
He's a comedian.
And I'm saying, and it's Sutherland.
Sutherland, the Southern Lands.
Donald Sutherland and Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, well, nah. I didn't watch many movies this week. I don't know if I watched any movies this week, except for I did watch. I definitely watched some movies, but the one I watched last night was The Watchers, 2024 movie starring Dakota Fanning, set in Ireland. It was predominantly shot in Galway, Dublin, and Wicklow, and it's essentially Dakota Fanning is, I believe she might be, I'd imagine she's American, living in Ireland or something, but she's working in a pet shop and she has to bring a bird to a location. So she driving this place and she kind of gets essentially lost in the woods, but the woods is it's like kind of like a loop.
I saw the trailer for this.
Yeah. I watched that movie last night. So she gets kind of like trapped in the woods, like a loop you can't escape. And at night time these creatures come out that will kill you, but she gets taken this place. It's basically just a concrete block room with a two-way mirror on it, and apparently these monsters like to watch them at night time and they can't turn their back on them and they have to face them and just be themselves and all this kind of stuff. And it was a good look. I liked it, right? I'll be honest with you, Emer even said it to me last night. I was kind of like writing a kind of an idea for, you know, I just mess around with comic ideas and stories and stuff, and I was working on one before, and Amy even turned around and was just like, oh, there's elements of this that are like very similar to yours, and it's just like there is, but so needless to say, it involves Irish mythology and folklore and stuff, which is always fun. Right. I liked it. It's a bit of a weird movie, but I liked it.
Is Shyamalan producing or something?
I believe his daughter directs it. And
his daughter directed?
Yes, I believe so. And he produced it and stuff.
Right.
But look, I liked it, you know, in terms of like kind of like essentially a horror movie with like, you know, Irish I'd love to see more Irish mythology and folklore and stuff. It's severely underrated and underrepresented, you know.
Yeah, it doesn't get
enough clout.
Doesn't quite get enough
any. But there's not much to say about it because it's one of those movies that kind of like, you know, I don't want to give away too much. You know, there's a lot in it, but it was good.
That's it. That's interesting. Is the concept of the twist ending hereditary in the Shyamalan family?
Yes. Yeah.
I only know how to teach my kids to make films one way.
Yeah.
But then I surprise them at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a little bit like, you know, not too twisty, but a little bit twisty. Yeah, I watched that. I enjoyed that. It was a bit of fun. I did based off of essentially you had mentioned it, and then you know we saw the leaks from James Gunn's Superman, which featured Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, Green Lantern.
Oh yeah.
I was because I've been looking for a bit of a backgroundy show because sometimes I just don't know what to put on.
Comfort viewing.
Yeah, and I'll throw on YouTube, but I'm kind of I go through phases, a bit burnt out of YouTube. So I initially was watching a show called Evil. Evil is on its, or I think it might be on the 6th and last season.
Right.
It's very. I've only watched a handful of episodes, and it's very case of the week. Kind of mystery, paranormal, supernatural show. It's 3 individuals from vastly different backgrounds who were tasked by the Catholic Church to investigate possible supernatural incidences. Mike Coulter is in it, as we know him as Luke Cage. Michael Emerson is in it. I can't really say like what his character's up to because spoilers, and I don't know. Asif Mandvi is in it. You'd recognize him, and Katja Herbers is the main character. But basically, it's like a kind of like a supernatural, paranormal, investigative, like each case of the week show. Obviously, with a overarching storyline. I wasn't massively sold on it, so I put on The Rookie, and I quite liked The Rookie.
The Rookie is a likable thing.
Yes,
it is easy watching. So how many episodes did you watch?
I think I watched 2 or 3 at the moment, but it is funny because like obviously I'm watching it from season 1.
Yeah.
And any of the promotional images that are attached on any of the streaming servers I'm watching it feature very little of the season 1 cast except for Nathan Fillion.
Right, that's so funny.
Do you know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah.
No, and I've I don't know. I just downloaded the whack of it, so I didn't see any of that. So I don't know who's what and who's going where. But I guess just watch on. It's fun.
Yeah, no, I like, man. It's literally because last week when I met you, when you were over in mine, I wasn't really working much that week, but I was sick. And then Emer had COVID, so we were kind of just chilling out for the weekend, and I just wanted a kind of a TV show that was very kind of just like, not particularly realistic, or like, you're not watching like a drama or like a true crime thing or something. I just wanted like a kind of a case of a week. This is the characters, yeah, so cute. He's a gas fella. But do you know what I mean though? Like kind of just like
100%.
Yeah,
that's why I started watching
show.
it. It's just background noise. It's affable. It's serious where it needs to be. It suffers a bit from being very pro-cop propaganda.
I get a bit of that. Yeah.
Even when it's like, we've got to do better. We're not what we were. We got to can't profile, and we got to they're the best versions of cops promoting the best versions of policing.
Even absolutely.
I will say this: I watched an episode of season 6, and this is a little bit of spoilers.
Okay.
but it's not narrative spoilers. It's just like a moment. But there's a situation where a cop is being held hostage by a bunch of people.
Okay.
The squad are making their way in. They're clearing rooms. They see the room where the person's in, and they're just like, shit, that's a worst case scenario. How do we get in there and how do we get them out? They're in like a warehouse, and like one of the bad guys like kind of just walks out of the toilet behind him, and there's like, oh shit, and they subdue him, and Fillion goes, give me his coat real quick, and he puts on the puffer jacket the guy's wearing, and then just walks into the room with this ends, was kind of just scratching his face, like a white guy wearing a puffer jacket, just walks straight across the room and pushes a man out a 2-story window.
Oh god. Okay, straight up murder.
Just straight up pushes him out the window to sort of clear the room a little bit and like even the odds. I was just like, that police officer just pushed a man out a window.
Yeah.
Like there's moments of that sort of inconsistency throughout the show because it's a goofy show. But when you're watching season 1 and they're like all over like procedure and like you can't do anything wrong because you're a rookie and we need to make sure that you hit X, Y, or Z, and then you get to the point where Nathan Fillion full on 300s a guy out a window. You're like, what the fuck has this show become? Did anyone check on that guy? Did he land on his neck? What's going on? He didn't have a gun in his hand. He didn't raise his hands. No one identified themselves as police officers. Like, was that necessary?
Hilarious.
He just stood behind him and like, so there's those sort of things. I also realized it's gotta be the same people that do Bones.
Oh really? That wasn't him though. No.
No, that was Boreanaz.
Yes. What was his other? What was Nathan Fillion's other show? He was the Castle. Yeah, I never watched it, but
yeah, it's fun.
Yeah,
I actually might double check and see if that's the same production company again.
Yeah,
and they're just in the Nathan Fillion business,
which is a good business to be in.
It's a good business to be in. He's an affable fella.
Yeah, always liked him.
Yeah, not to like. He's TV's Ryan Reynolds.
Well, yeah, let's say that he. What did I think I initially... I'm going to say this, right? And I could be horrendously wrong. But I want to say the first thing I saw Nathan Fillion in was Buffy. I want to say Buffy.
Yeah, he was in Buffy.
But, okay, so he was in Buffy. But I liked him from day one.
2 Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place with Ryan Reynolds back in the 90s.
Was he in that as well, yeah?
Yeah.
But I liked him. I did see that. I just don't remember from that. But I liked Nathan Fillion. And then, anytime I see him and stuff, it's just like, great. Like I love when he's in stuff he's fun, you know. But I did watch Firefly and that is peak Nathan Fillion. That is great. That is just phenomenal TV.
I hope the Green Lantern stuff, like the gun stuff, starts to like parlay him into film a bit more. He's great.
Yes,
he's great and he deserves it.
He does. But, he would have been I always kind of like would have liked him for, you know, maybe I like the direction they're going with the Wonder Man TV show, but I always thought Nathan Fillion would have been a great Wonder Man, and he was. He was
Nathan Drake as well. Everyone just thought like the Uncharted thing. He should have been instead of Mark
the boy, and Tom Holland. But he was. They did use him as Wonder Man in the Gunn movies, didn't they, or something like that? Because there was fake posters.
I don't know,
as like Easter egg stuff, you know, that alluded that he was Wonder Man, but I could be wrong.
Well, he pops up as like a security guard in Guardians 3.
I know that, yeah, but he's also I think he's in Guardians 1 as well. Actually,
is he?
He's in the prison breakout scene. He might voice a character.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what I was just saying was like I started to get the Bones vibe off the show when it started getting like inconsistent and becoming more about characters, like relationships and romances.
Just making cases of the week.
But even beyond that, when the product placement and the marketing got absurd, and it gets absurd.
Okay.
Like Bones had a few incidents of like, here, let's go down. There you go. Bones had a few incidents of like, wait, what's happening? Oh, my car is directing the parking because it's got this new reverse feature. Here, let me show you. And they demo a new feature of like a Ford.
Oh, man.
It's like, oh, man, that's fucking annoying. What's that? Oh, my music is tied into my Bluetooth speakers in my... There's an episode of Bones where they're trying to solve a crime and the nerds are watching the trailer for Avatar.
You're saying this, yeah.
Did I say it in the last episode?
No, I think you were texting me about it.
Oh, they're watching the trailer for Avatar and Boyan as his character is like, what's going on? It's like, oh, Avatar, it's James Cameron's new movie. The greatest filmmaker of all time is making another film. We can't wait. We're queuing. And the whole episode has a subplot where they're queuing to get tickets. Now,
that has happened in other
fuck
stuff,
off.
but yeah.
That's just marketing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, any office I've been in, yeah, the nerds are watching trailers for movies, so it's also very real.
Yes. This is true.
But yeah, I was like, oh, this is getting Bones vibes. And sure enough, there was an episode where a guy was trying to get into his car and he was dressed as a Na'vi because he was on his way to a screening of Avatar The Way of Water. And I'm like, you motherfuckers, you did it again. You did it again.
Like, look, a part of me...
There's a later episode where he wakes up in bed and he's wearing a Galaxy's Edge t-shirt. And it's like, interesting. I wonder if this company is owned by Buena Vista and has a tie into Disney.
Yes, yeah.
Because Disney, suddenly they're advertising the theme park in the show. Anyway, but all of these things are things that people would have or do to a degree. But it's also like,
it just
fuck off.
It feels on the nose, does it? And like sometimes I kind of like, I might like something like that in a TV show. Like, to be honest, it's like it's almost better when they're writing these things and it's just a fake movie, fake trailer, fake thing. That's fine, because I think when they use real stuff, it has a tendency to age it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you look back, it's kind of like,
yeah. Oh, 100%.
Even though,
100%.
of course, it's made at that time, but still.
Yeah, no, referential stuff ages things.
Yeah.
Just be your story.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an episode of Bones where they're doing the Jersey Shore thing, and like that episode is going to make no sense to people 20 years from now.
That's it,
when
yeah.
they're going, wait, what was the Jersey Shore? Why was this a fucking thing? Maybe I'm overthinking it, and people won't be watching shows from 20 years previous. But look, here we are. I also did. I went to a casting call thing yesterday.
Yes, go on.
Which was, I don't know if you know News Check Comedy on Instagram.
I don't. I might have seen their stuff through you.
The thing is, you probably have seen the sketches because they get huge views. But they put a post up going like, hey, we want to kind of do a meet and greet, meet new faces, see who's around, like if anybody wants to write stuff or whatever. And they just like put up Eventbrite, and a bunch of people turned up to their office, which is in Blackrock, which is fucking so close to me. It was kind of cool. And we just showed up, and there's like 20 people and the guys that run it, and it was just a bunch of like improving and reading sketches, and it was a blast. It was a really fun thing.
Amazing.
So I'm kind of like I've got a degree of performance insecurity and stuff, but it was also like, actually this was fine. Like there was a moment where they did a like part of the like, I guess, auditioning thing. He's like, there's been an emergency, and he rolls out this lectern, and it's like, we've got the minister from whatever here, and he pulls somebody out of the group, and he goes, and we're dealing with, and he gets like a crisis, and it's like, oh, we're improvising a crisis, and it's a press conference, and you gotta ask questions, and it's like, okay, cool, I gotta ask questions, and this is kind of a game, sort of getting to see how people react in sort of improv-y, query moments, and I got pulled up as the last guy, and like he only pulled up like 4 or 5 people, and then there was a group asking questions, and I got pulled up as like the last guy, and he went, oh my god, the Taoiseach's here. And now what's the problem? It's like, we're concerned about overjacked teens. Why are the teens so muscular? And like, I don't know what it looked like from the other side of it, and I got good feedback from people afterwards, but it was like, oh, fucking improvising, pretending to be the Taoiseach? I'm fucking all over this. Like, this was just a blast,
Yeah.
It was like, what do you think of the accusations that you're wearing smaller t-shirts to seem more jacked to get more votes? It's like, my labels are on public record. You can come and see. I'll take this shirt off now if you insist. Like, it was
excellent. It
was great fun.
Yeah.
And I just like, suddenly there's like this comedy hub near my home. It's like, that's class.
That's exciting. Yeah, that is good.
So I hope that's fun.
Yeah.
It's positive.
Little Deer Comics used to be around the corner where I live, and like they do comic jams and all that kind of stuff, and it's just like, yeah. I wish you were sitting around the corner where I live. That would have been great, But that's great, man. Get in on it. Sounds like fun.
Yeah, I would like some of these things to pay me money, but that's just me.
Money is good though. Money is necessary. Suppose one thing that really caught my interest this week was
Go on.
the new trailer teaser for Mike
I
Mignola's
know where you're going, yeah.
The Crooked Man. Hellboy, The Crooked Man.
Hellboy. Was it called Hellboy the Crooked Man, or was it called The Crooked Man?
I think it's called Hellboy, The Crooked Man.
Yeah, it would have to be, right? You don't abandon that fucking name recognition, do you?
No. Apparently, originally, like I probably said this on podcasts before, but I read tons of Hellboy for years, you know, and I would have watched the movie quite a bit and director's commentary and all of that kind of stuff. But they had a really hard time kind of selling and promoting that movie in America at the time when it came out because
Hellboy.
Yeah, because just
Hell.
yeah, there was just cinemas that just didn't want to put it up on their billing and all that kind of stuff, and they'd put it up as Hello Boy and like Red Boy and all this kind of stuff because they just didn't want hell there.
Is America a theocracy hell state?
Yes.
It's so fucking annoying, isn't it? The land of the fucking free, fucking progressive, art-filled, comedy-filled, wonderful fucking
I don't know. It's
media source that I've been sold is like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
But that's there. You know what I mean? Like it's just it's I guess because it's so big and it's such a it's a cultural melting pot. But and people are like real, you know.
I actually think it's more like a cultural, you know, like those dishes in the military where like the soup is in one section and the fucking potatoes are in another and the chips are. It's a cultural bento box where all of the foods.
Oh
are
yes,
isolated from one
yeah,
another.
like a microwave dinner. But yeah, like kind of, you know, it's just it's two extremes of, you know.
It's wild.
Yeah, it
so
is
they
wild.
they had trouble fucking getting people to see Hellboy just because they wouldn't fucking put the word on the
For sure,
wall.
even I think when they were doing I'm pretty sure it was Daredevil, but I know they had the same issues. Or sorry, I'm sure it was Hellboy, but they had the same issues with Daredevil, making the original Daredevil movie.
There's the word devil.
Oh no, it's because like they were like, does he have to be red? Does he have to have horns? Like, does Hellboy need a tail and all the kind of, like just mad stuff. It's just like, no, that is the character. That's how it works. But I know they had the same thing to Daredevil and like, you know, how Devil and they would go with it, you know. But anyways, Hellboy, the Crooked Man. Does it come out this year? I don't know when it comes out actually.
November?
October 4th, 2025.
Fuck off. What? There's no way that trailer's up for a film that's coming out at the end of next year.
That's what it says. That's what it's saying on. That's not even the right picture. That's what it's saying on. No.
It does, yeah.
But it says now on IMDb it's 2024. So that's just
September 24. That's a typo. Somebody's
must
fucked
be,
up.
yeah.
It might be October 4th, 24, but that's crazy.
So introduce parapsychologist Bobby Joe Song, who is tasked with delivering a spider to the BPRD but must seek Hellboy's help when things go awry. Together they travel to Appalachia to take on the Crooked Man, who has been sent back to Earth to collect souls for the devil. Now, I didn't really get that from the trailer at all.
Yeah.
And there's no mention of Bobby Joe and there's no mention of Bobby Joe and a spider or anything like that in the comics.
That's what you want in a trailer, just creepy shots that like enthuse you.
So I watched the trailer originally and was underwhelmed.
Yeah.
I just, you know, I don't think the actor playing Hellboy, I don't like. It's like I don't dislike him or anything that like at all. I don't know him, but I don't like his performance in the trailer. Like I like the way he speaks and things like that. I guess, you know, but I just feel like they could have just used a little bit more prosthetics on his face, because like we all know Hellboy, he's that blocky guy. Like Mignola's art is blocky. I just make him a little bit blockier. But I think I like Perlman's look for Hellboy. I think David Harbour's was a little bit too like demony or something. It's a hard it's a hard line to kind of toe, you know. Was that the expression? I don't know.
There's versions of like when you watch Mignola and who's the other guy who's been drawing him for ages?
Duncan
Fegredo.
Yeah. Don't make me say that.
When Hellboy goes to hell as well, like they kind of start drawing him a little more wiry. He gets a little like, He kind of goes up and down in size.
He does.
There's early drawings of him that are pretty beefy, but then there's this sort of like little rangier version of him because he's dead at a certain point, isn't he? Back in hell.
Yeah. No, I didn't. Did I get that far in the comics? Maybe. I kind of segued and started reading a lot of BPRD stuff as well because Guy Davis is drawing that stuff, and I love Guy Davis stuff.
Yeah, Harbour's Hellboy is...
I've never watched the movie, bro.
I need to watch it again. It's disjointed. They're trying to do 2 or 3 stories at the same time.
Yeah, I know they were trying to do the Wild Hunt
elements.
And different things like that. But look, like I said, initially, kind of having viewed the trailer, I was a little bit underwhelmed by it, and I was a little bit like, oh, kind of Hellboy looks a little bit like, doesn't look, as I would have perceived him to be. But it is a younger Hellboy, like this technically is set in the 50s. Hellboy was born.
Is it?
Like in the comics, it's set in the 50s. Yeah, so I'd imagine.
I love the idea of it being a period piece.
Yeah, I'd say this is set in the 50s. But like, so it's based on The Crooked Man, which was written by Mike Mignola and illustrated by Roy Corbin. Is that the guy's name? Do you know his stuff at all?
I don't know.
Really, really, like, how would you say, like, kind of like he would have been like probably like, a certain generation of comic book artists. He would have been like one of their guys. Do you know what I mean? Like this. Like, I think now that's how I perceived it, anyways.
I saw somebody saying that, like, and I haven't read this, is that like Hellboy's kind of at a little bit of a, like, he's a little out of his element because he's very used to sort of European, Victorian, medieval monsters, but a sort of Appalachian spirit is kind of like, it's a newer breed. You know what I mean? It's a slightly different thing, but I don't know how that logic really works if he's supposed to be a fucking demon of hell anyway.
Sure, and all those European fucking folklore stuff, something that's just wild. But no, in this, so I went off and I reread The Crooked Man and The Return of Effie Clobb, which is like a sequel kind of story, great stories, real straightforward, real basic. Not too much to get caught up, not too much weeds to get caught up in or anything like that at all, it's just like kind of Hellboy rocks into this town, someone's being assaulted by a witch, then he bumps into a guy who used to live in the town years ago and he is connected to the witch somehow, and they go looking for the witch, and they go, of course that leads them to the Crooked Man. They seek sanctuary in a church. A big fight ensues, and then Tom and Hellboy go after the Crooked Man to kind of be done with him and stuff, and they encounter witches, of course, along the way. There's plenty of witches and all that kind of stuff. Now, there's a part 2 and stuff, and that's fine, that's fun. Crooked Man doesn't necessarily feature in the part 2 of it. I can't remember. I don't think so. It's more about the witch Effie Clobb, but it's but like when you actually watch the trailer, like I haven't reread it, and then when you watch the trailer, it's just like, oh, like I kind of, it's just like, right, they are doing beat for beat. This looks fucking cool.
Okay, cool.
And I believe it's written by Mike Mignola as well.
Yeah, he seems heavily
involved in this one.
Like,
yeah. So like I am now far more up for it than I was previously, and I think the fact that I like the idea, it's like R-rated, lower budget horror movie, because that's all Hellboy needs to be,
Yeah, and it's also like there's a little bit of like I was like, oh fuck, another Hellboy, but then at the same time the last one was 5 years ago.
Yeah,
I guess the pandemic kind of blurred the lines as to how long ago that actually is.
It was about 5 or 6 years ago.
Golden Army was 2008.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can see, okay, we had a misstep, let's try again.
Yeah.
Try a different tack.
Like kind of, What would I love to see another Hellboy with Guillermo del Toro and Rod Perlman? Like I would. I loved it.
I kind of would, but at the same time, like those movies are fun, but like, are they great?
I have a really.
Do we really need to go back to them? Golden Army was wobbly.
I was going to say I have a really soft spot for the first one. The first one, was just a time in my life where that stuff was just really, really cool and important to me. And, you know, like I'd watch movies again and again and again and blah, blah, blah. But like Kronos was awesome in it. And Ape Sapien, the way he was kind of represented and stuff. Like I loved it, you know. Now, like I said, I kind of when I came up to Dublin initially, or when I came up to Dublin for college and stuff, it was the first time I had access to like an actual comic book shop, you know. And I was buying a good bit of Marvel and stuff like that. But then Civil War happened and I couldn't keep up. And, you know, I never really was exposed to events like, you know, how would you say it? Like actual events that were going on at the time.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like if I ever read an event book, I didn't even know it was an event book, but I would have read a graphic novel.
I hate the concept of fucking event books, you know, but...
Yeah,
I just want to read comic books. The idea that I get tied into a cross-title fucking narrative that forces me to buy it.
But dude, I remember
it actually disconnects me from comics.
I remember I was reading the David Finch Moon Knight run from 2006, 2007 at the time, and maybe 2005, but that period. And I was reading that, and Captain America came up trying to recruit him for Civil War, and I was like, what the fuck is like Civil War, you know? I didn't have a clue.
Yeah.
So I had to obviously like look into it and things like that, like, and I was just like, I'm broke ass college student, I can't buy more books, you know, this is too much for me. And like I didn't understand how it worked really at the time either, but I was just like, nah. So I kind of like, I need to deviate, and that's when I discovered Hellboy and the Goon, and
nice.
I was hooked on Eric Powell and Mike Mignola's books for years then, for a good long time. For a good long time. I have loads of art books and stuff from the guys and comics and all that kind of stuff, you know. I have a few signed bits and pieces from Eric Powell. It is Eric Powell, isn't it? Why do I think that's wrong? It is Eric Powell. But yeah, kind of. Look, look. The trailer looks in that, like, you know, rewatching the trailer, I'm actually pumped for it now. It looks like some of the stuff is like shot for shot, like that's the same pose. That's cool, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited for it. It's a creepy story, and I'm excited.
Oh, I am too.
Yeah.
I am too. Like I do want stuff to be
good.
I want stuff, you know. I want stuff. The other thing I watched was I watched Axel F the other night.
I don't know what that is.
It's the new Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 40 years since that movie came out.
40 years.
Yeah.
I want to go back and have a look at the first one in terms of the car chases. I think there's a lot of mirroring things going on. But the thing I will say about this is it's fine. It's getting good reviews. It's fine. It's lovely to see everybody on screen. It doesn't suffer from like tired repetition in some ways. In some ways that other of these sort of like revisit sequels have. At the same time, it definitely has some of that, to be fair. I will say, like, I think I sent a message to somebody as like, Eddie Murphy is engaged in a lot of slow speed chases in this fucking movie. It just, you know, there's a truck driving around chasing people in cars, and I'm like, whatever way this is shot, wherever the camera is, I don't get the sense of speed up of this. It doesn't feel fast.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what I want in a chase. I want to feel that like zoom, that the fucking urgency. Maybe they needed Michael Bay's little fucking camera rigs or whatever the fuck to do. There's 2 scenes where he's like in essentially a golf cart. Maybe 3 scenes. Actually, he steals a golf cart, he steals a meter maid's wagon, and he steals a cart from a stadium. So there are 3 scenes where rather than run after somebody or run from somebody, he hops in an electric cart. Oh, actually, as I say that out loud, it's like, look, the man's in his 60s. He was not going to do any running. Like, he tells a story during, like, the marketing end of things where he's just like, you know, I would come out and I would come down these stairs and the director would be like, okay, cool, can you do that, like, faster and jump down the bottom of these stairs? He's like, no. He's like, I'm not doing action or stunts or, like, whatever, because I'm just, you know, like, whatever.
He's 63 years old, so yeah, well,
and I thought, cool, okay, well, they're going to get stunt men, and they're going to choose their angles wisely, and they're going to, like, do whatever to sell these things. And then in the first 10 minutes, he comes out and comes down some stairs really slowly, and I'm like, okay, they're not doing any of that. They're just going to have him move around the place.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, cool. I mean, the guy that played, like, Judge Reinhold and the other cop are back, and that other cop is 75 years old at this point.
Oh my god.
And even he, like, runs in and, like he jumps down on the ground in a way that I'm like, well, that was slow, but also, like, that's a 75-year-old man getting on the ground to take cover. It's like, fucking fair dues to him, you know?
But it's, it's like that scene in The Irishman, was it?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, that was like, it's just unnecessary. So easily avoidable. It wasn't even like a close-up shot.
Yeah.
Madness. We saw that together, didn't we?
Yes.
You were in the lighthouse to see that, yeah.
Were you a Beverly Hills Cop fan, growing up?
Absolutely. I really enjoyed those movies. I 100,000 billion% did not understand them. I watched these movies when I was in primary school. I have memories of probably watching them when I was in like second class. Easily. First class, second class, you know. Yeah, potentially could be even younger. I don't know, but no, I wasn't able to. I haven't watched them in my adult life, but I loved them when I was kids. It would have been like my probably earliest memories, Eddie Murphy and stuff.
Oh man, you should fucking put on Beverly Hills
Cop
if you're sitting there for the afternoon.
Yeah,
like Beverly Hills Cop and Beverly Hills Cop 2. What's a funny thing about them is they're gorgeous. They're gorgeous, like cinematography wise, really atmospheric-y. Great shots of, like, Detroit specifically has this sort of cold eastern, like, noir-y cop show vibe, and then when it gets to California and Beverly Hills and everything goes sort of bright, it's such a shift. Beverly Hills Cop 3
Detroit
is very neutral cinematography wise. Like, it all feels like a TV show at that point. It's very weird the way it looks so flat in comparison.
Is this the fourth Beverly Hills Cop that's came out?
This is the fourth Beverly Hills Cop, yeah.
But the original three were like in much closer succession to each other, right?
Yeah,
like,
84, 89, and 94, I think, something like that.
Yeah, I probably saw it around 94. You know, I probably would have been exposed to them around 94 when the third one came out or whatever.
I enjoyed the third one, but it was very cartoony.
Okay.
You know, and like it's a sort of Gremlins 2 thing where it's like the kids saw it and loved it, whereas like the people that had liked the first two were like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
you know?
fair. Yeah, I do like Gremlins.
Gremlins 2?
Gremlins 2, yeah, I like Gremlins 2. Yeah, I like it.
But I saw Gremlins 2 first, so I'm just like, what a funny, goofy movie. And then I saw the first one, I was like, what a scary movie.
Yeah. The first one is great. I like the second one as well. But I was going to say to you, before we wrap things up, I have watched the latest episode of The Boys. It's you're not watching The Boys at all.
I want to. I want to be like involved in the conversation. I want to be involved in the conversation that everyone's in at the moment, but I'm like, to do that, I've got to watch 3 seasons of this to catch up. So by the time I do that, the conversation's going to be over.
Yeah.
So I'm in no rush anymore.
I
was kind of like, I'll do it.
Look,
and it's like,
look, get on it. Season 5.
There's 10 episodes in each season.
But
right?
season 5 is going to be the last one.
Yeah, but there's 10 episodes
Something
in each
like
season.
that, yeah.
And they're like an hour long each.
Yeah, but dude, just don't watch The West Wing this year. It's too late, isn't it?
I've already watched The West Wing this year.
yeah, exactly.